What's going on, guys? It's Amazing White here, back with another video. Today we're going to be updating the tier list that I made for June, and we're going to be doing the July tier list update. So let's get into it. Alright, so as you guys can see, the tier list is the same as last time. I think I made like some adjustments down here, but overall, like, this is basically the exact same tier list, and I have all the new units here that are listed that have come out on the global version of the game. So from Gallant to Bond, these are the new units that have come out since I've made this tier list. So we're going to be going over each unit and picking a place for where they sit, right? I think I'm gonna do like a few changes here to the tier list actually. So I'm thinking I move Lilia into God tier, and the reason is not like, now that I think about it, Lilia overall as a character, she's like super useful for like all content in the game. At the moment, she's super viable in PvP. She's a PvE farmer. She can basically buff a Hauser and a Demon Melee to do like insane farming. So honestly, I think overall as a character, I think Lilia definitely deserves God tier at the moment. And Demon Melee, I don't think he deserves God tier just because he needs Lilia to be in that status. But I think I'm going to leave Lilia at God tier this time, and Demon Melee can stay in the SS. So alright, so let's hop into the new characters now that we want to change, and let's go into Red Gallant as the first character. So for Red Gallant, I have his info pulled up here. As a character, Red Gallant's kind of bad. I mean, his best thing that he has about him is that he's kind of like a mono red type of character where strength attribute heroes ignore 30% of the enemy's defense when you use skills, so excluding counter stance skills. So this is what helps him in a mono red team, but overall you don't really run Gallant on a mono red team just because he isn't really that good for the spot, right? You could actually sub in a Twigo here, or even like you could actually sub in Twigo here, or even Hauser in the back. So there's other units that you can sub in for the sub slot instead of using Gallant. So overall, I do think that Gallant is probably gonna be a B tier unit. The Blue Gallant's definitely better than Red Gallant. Like overall, as like with the Blue Gallant's kit, he's definitely better than the Red Gallant. And yeah, so I definitely do think that this Gallant is going to be down here for the time being, right? Now we get into Red Escanor. So Red Escanor, let's get into his details real quick. Red Escanor is a top tier meta unit for basically everything in the game. As you guys can see on his unit rating, it's basically everything except Grey Demon. So overall, he's a really synergistic kid. He's got the Amplify on his level 1, and then he has a Charge and Fire on his level 2, which depletes ultimate move gauge, and then he has the ultimate where he does up to 1440% damage, which is kind of insane. And overall, Red Escanor is definitely, at the moment in the game, he's definitely God tier. And the reason I'm putting Escanor in God tier is because overall he's basically like good for everything in the game, right? Like PvP right now, he's top of the meta right now. Mono Red and the Pierce team are like top of the meta. All right, so I just noticed, guys, that Red King is not on the actual tier list itself, but as a like a sub place, we'll put the Red Fat King just as a placeholder unit till we actually add him to this tier list. So at the moment, Red King, guys, for in general content, he's actually gonna be a S tier unit, and the reason is because he's top of the meta in PvP. In PvE, he has AoE skills, so he can actually be used as a farmer if you want to. So overall, Red King is going to be a pretty decent unit. I'll go over his skills real quick. We'll just pull up Red King real quick. So yeah, so Red King, he has 2 AoE skills. One that disables recovery skills for 2 turns, and then he has Explode, which does 200% and Explode after 1 turn. Actually, like honestly, in PvP, I've actually seen some pretty good use out of this Detonate skill. So I've seen pretty good use out of it, so, or the Explode skill I should say. It's actually pretty good, and people actually underestimate the amount of damage they take from that. And then obviously King's passive is like his bread and butter, right? So reduces all enemies' current pierce rate by half in PvP. So this is the main reason why you want to use King, because of his passive. But overall as a character, he's actually really good. So I think I'm gonna keep him in that spot right there in the S tier. And when Red Fat King does come out, I'm gonna have to update the tier list and see if I can get Red King in here, because I don't think Red King's here unless I'm blind. If you guys notice Red King here and you see him somewhere here, just let me know and I'll probably fix it. But yeah, so let's continue on the tier list, right? So the next character we're gonna be going over is the Green Giant Dion. So let's go over to Green Giant Dion real quick, and basically she's gonna be like a worse Hauser. So PvE farming top tier because she has 2 AoE skills, so she's pretty good for that. She has the highest AoE damage skill in the game at 375% of attack, but a Pierce card can do more with Lilia as a partner, right? Because it scales higher. But cancel stances on all enemies and inflicts 250% and the 375% AoE. and then increases allies defense related stats by 10% for every debuff on the hero. So she tries to be synergistic with her kit, but overall Green Giant Dion is basically a worse Hauser, and Hauser's already really good in the meta, right? So for that, I'm probably just gonna put Green Giant Dion in the B tier actually, just because like overall, let's just see here, like Hauser, he's your main farmer and he's free to play, so already that should make it so that he is the main AoE farmer you use. I mean, if you like Giant Dion's aesthetics, I guess, then I guess you can use her in farming, but overall for your best farmer it's going to be Hauser, right? So definitely make sure you guys are using Hauser over Green Giant Dion if you don't have her, and you don't really need her like for really anything, to be honest. Alright, so let's go over the Attack on Titan units now. So let's start off with Mikasa. So let's go over to Mikasa real quick. So Mikasa as a character, she's actually really good. I actually slept on her a ton. As you can see from her unit rating, she isn't really good, but as a character she's pretty good because of this and her ultimate. So let's go over that real quick. So increases the hero's basic stats by 50% for 3 turns and inflicts 420% of attack on one enemy. So this is the same ultimate as Gallant, and as you guys know how Gallant works is he uses this card right here and he gets the buffs, and then he would use an amplify card. But the thing with Mikasa is that she doesn't actually have a amplify card, and that actually hinders her kit a ton. Her best card is this bleed card that only does 325% of attack, which is a really low multiplier overall. But the saving grace for Mikasa herself is her passive, where she increases all stats of the hero by 3% for each ally that takes damage. And this passive actually doesn't just do basic stats, it does all stats. So all these stats right here, other than combat class obviously, but all these stats right here, all these stats are getting increased by 30% after 10 attacks, right? So Mikasa is going to be a tank. She's going to be a crazy damage dealer. She's kind of insane, honestly. So where am I going to rank her on the tier list? Honestly though, like overall as a character, her usage isn't really that crazy. So I think I'm just going to put her in the A tier. She is a really good unit, right? So if you do pick her up from the Attack on Titan collab, she's really good. I've seen some PvP viability if you leave her alive for too long. So you definitely want to kill her early. But if you are leaving Mikasa alive, she is going to be a deadly threat around the end of the match, right? Alright, so let's get into Levi. Danjo Levi. Okay, so Levi is probably the best Attack on Titan unit that came out with the collaboration. And the reason I say that is just because Levi has a lot of viability in a lot of content, right? In Crimson Demon, he's actually pretty insane. Like, I've done a video on it, so definitely check out that video. Levi in Crimson Demon is actually insane, guys. Basically how Levi works is he's a crit based unit. So with his passive, attacking the enemy with the lowest percentage HP results in a critical strike, activates even when attacking the last remaining enemy, or where there are 2 enemies with the same HP percentage. So basically if the enemy is at full health, or if there's only 1 enemy left on the field, Levi is going to guaranteed crit that enemy. So having guaranteed crits with a spike card is going to make it so he's able to do a ton of damage. As I've seen, Levi's spike card does more than his ultimate at some point. So this card right here at level 3, the spike, is kind of insane with his kit. So first card obviously is the spike card. His second card is the despair card, so recovers 15% diminished HP upon a successful critical strike. So if Levi's critting all the time, he's basically getting a free heal with this card. It's AoE, so 250% of attack is pretty decent. It's not anything crazy, but it's pretty good for his kit, right? And then for his ultimate, he cancels buffs and stances on one enemy and inflicts damage equal to 630%. So this is probably his worst part of his kit, his ultimate. But even then, canceling buffs and stances is really good. If you're in PvP and you're fighting a mono red team, you can use it on Escanor and nuke his Escanor, or you can use it on Arthur, like stuff like that. Like, Levi's just a really good character. What I'm thinking is for Levi, he's probably the best Attack on Titan unit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him in the S tier. And the reason I'm not putting him in the SS or the God tier is just because overall, like, his only viability really is Crimson and PvP at the moment. And he's probably going to fall off in the future. But at the moment, he's definitely the best Attack on Titan unit that has come out with the collaboration. Alright, so let's go over the transforming Eren. So the Attack on Titan Eren right here. So this Eren is actually, honestly, after like all my testing with all the characters, this Eren at 1 out of 6 is definitely the worst Attack on Titan unit, guys. Like honestly, like, I don't know about Eren. Like, his passive is pretty good, where he increases damage dealt by 10% for every orb he has. So he is going to be doing decent damage when he has his ultimate. But overall, like, I don't know what it is with Eren, but he isn't really that impressive to me. Like, he does decently well in PvP, like as a substitute if you don't have a Green Escanor, but overall, like, Green Escanor just like outclasses this Eren in basically everything that he has, right? This transformation ultimate, it honestly is a waste of a card. If you guys think about it, you're using the ultimate and you're not doing anything on that turn once you've used the ultimate. You have to use another card to actually get damage out of Eren's Titan form, right? So using this, you don't really get much of a benefit other than increasing your basic stat or your related stats, right? And decreasing the enemy's attack related stats. But overall, as like a kit for Eren, he's pretty good, right? Like, at first he's basically green Escanor, and then when he becomes the Titan form, he becomes red Escanor, and honestly, he's basically just worse versions of those characters, right? And he isn't really I don't think he has a place in the meta right now where, like, basically any unit can destroy Eren before he gets to his ultimate. And in my showcase video, as you guys know, I actually really struggled trying to showcase his transformation, just because people, like, I couldn't even get to his ultimate in most matches, just because, like, it's such a hassle getting to his ultimate and then using some cards when he's in his ultimate, right? I've actually never even seen his Titan ultimate right here, so I've actually never seen this once yet. So that goes to show how, like, hard it is to actually use Eren when he's in his Titan form, right? So overall, I do think Eren's probably gonna be in the same tier as Mikasa. I honestly, like, Mikasa, after testing, Mikasa is definitely better than the SSR Green Eren, right? Mikasa, like, once she stacks up her entire passive, she becomes actually insane. So I think that's gonna give her the triumphant win against the SSR Green Eren. So we're going to be going over the SR Eren now, the free-to-play one. So this SR Eren right here, he's going to be really insane on your box, right? Like, he's probably, honestly, like, if Levi didn't come out in this collaboration, he would definitely be the best one. Like, let's be real. This SR Eren is actually insane. He's definitely best SR unit in the game. I do think that he is going to be, like, really insane for a long time. Let's go over his kit. So for his first skill, he cancels stances on one enemy and inflicts damage equal to 500% of attack. So this skill is really good. A really good viability in Red Demon, actually, because of this card right here. And then his second card is the Red Derriere card. So it increases basic stats by 50% for 3 turns and gains evasion for 1 turn. So this card already makes it so Eren can get off an ultimate without having to worry about being attacked, and having that buff card makes it so his ultimate does a ton of damage. At 6/6, it's going to be a 945% inflicting shatter damage, which is really good. As you guys know, King's ultimate with shatter damage is really good AoE, and this is a single target one, so it's going to be a really good nuke. So overall, SR Eren, I do think he's probably like the best SR unit in the game. So if we go back to my tier list real quick, I think I'm going to drop Guild Thunder down to this tier, and we're actually going to put the SR Eren at the top of A tier for the SRs. So he's definitely the best SR at the moment in the game. Alright, so now that we're done with all the Attack on Titan units, let's get into the Blue Bond, the one that actually just came out. So Blue Bond, let's go over to Blue Bond real quick. Where is he? Here he is. So Blue Bond, I did go over him in the Should You Summon, and overall he's basically just like I don't know, man. He's really mediocre. That's the word. He's just an average character. The blue, like, Brawler Bond is definitely better than this Bond, like, hands down. Like, overall, his kit isn't really that good, and you would think his passive is really good, increasing the defense by 50% of all enemies' defense, but defense isn't really an important stat in Grand Cross, right? So where I'm gonna rank this Bond is I'm gonna put him probably in the B tier. He isn't really anything crazy. He's probably the worst unit that's come out in recent time. So that's basically it for the tier list, guys. I think that's it. I've gone over all the characters that have come out so far on my last tier list, so then this is basically an updated tier list. So this is going to be the team right here. So let me just full screen right here so you guys can see everything. So this is the tier list right here for July. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.